The poem Toba Singh by Gulzar. I have got to go and meet Toba Singh's vision at Wagah. I am told he still stands on his stolen feet where Manto had left him. He still mutters, Opad di, gud di, moong di dal, di laltain. I have to locate that mad fellow who used to speak up from a branch high above. He is God. He alone has to decide whose village to whose side. When will he move down that branch? He is to be told. There are some more left still who are being divided, made into pieces. There are some more partitions to be done. That partition only the first one. That partition was only the first one. Now, if you read this, what you find is I have got to meet. If you have got to meet, it means I've got to meet means you are bound to meet. When you have decided to meet somebody, like when we say I've got to do the work, it means you have to do that work. Nobody can prevent you from meeting that person. When you are fixed, when you made up your mind, when you fixed your mind, understood? Then only we use I've got to go. I've got to go and meet Toba Singh's vision at Wagah. It means, according to the poet, he still feels that a man called Toba Singh, whose original name was Vision, he is at Wagah and I have to go and meet him. In the story Toba Singh by Sadat Hassan Manto, what we have learnt is it was Toba Singh who preferred to die in no man's land. He entered no man's land between India and Pakistan, where he stood. He actually remained standing for 15 long years, and he decided to not enter. He decided to not enter either Pakistan or India. He decided to be in a place called no man's land between India and Pakistan. If you look at the meaning behind what he did as a madman, is something to be understood. What is it? Actually, those who divided the country were mad in reality. A man like Toba Singh, who is presented as a mad person in the story by Sadat Hassan Manto, was not originally a madman. He was a real lover, real citizen of his motherland. He did not want partition, and nobody who will be lover of his own motherland will never want the worst thing like division, partition to happen, or would never expect partition of either their country or their motherland. Understood? So, just to show the evil act, to exhibit before us the pain the people who underwent during partition of the country. The pain of separation that the people on either side faced. Those who were Muslims, they they felt the pain of being away from the place that they were born and brought up. The similar thing happened to those who are Hindus living in Pakistan, the newly created country, which was carved out of India. The same thing was felt by the Muslims who left India and migrated to Pakistan. When they went to Pakistan, the story says they went to the land where they were not born and brought up with, where their ancestors did not help them to grow up, where they did not grow up playing, where they did not have their relatives and nearest and dearest ones. The place they were not familiar with, even their ancestors. So it was a punishment. Partition was a punishment for those innocent people who fell victim to partition. And the poem sings, both the story and the poem sings the pain of agony that the people on either side experienced while leaving their motherland. Understood? Or respective places they inhabited it before the partition, that they lived in before partition. So that man who died in protest against partition at Wagah, whose name was Bishan Singh, and the poet decided to make up his mind to meet that fellow and wants to see him standing there, who actually raised accusing finger at the leaders on either side, saying that I am not in favor of partition. I am angry with you people. You punished us, you made our lives hell. Who are you people to decide our fate? We are not in favor of partition. So I prefer to die in no man's land. This is the reason why the poet has chosen the first line, I have got to go and meet Toba Singh's vision at Wagah. I am told, the poet says, he is told, it means either through newspapers or someone he grew up with or someone he made or maybe someone from inside his family or someone who he knew fell victim to partition might have told. This is the reason he is saying, I'm told. He was told. What was he told? He still stands on his stolen feet. That fellow is still standing on his stolen feet. It means maybe the poem was written just before a few years after partition. Because when the lunatics living in asylums in the respective countries in both Pakistan and India had to be deported, because their only reason was, the only cause of the deportation of the inmates living in lunatic asylums was that that was one day what happened after partition. The country got parted or partition, and all the people were happy. Partition was over. Then Suddenly what happened? The lunatics, means mad people, living in lunatic asylums in both India and Pakistan, got together, and one of them declared himself Muhammad Ali Jinnah, and the other declared himself a Punjabi, understood, person. Punjabi, they were Punjabi, but Punjabi person actually Tara Singh. He said another Hindu or Punjabi mad person called himself Tara Singh. He declared himself, I am Tara Singh. And they started fighting. That fellow who was Muslim, who said, I am Muhammad Ali Jinnah, he said that I need a separate country, and then he started saying, Pakistan Zindabad, Pakistan Zindabad, understood? And then there was another person who was called Tara Singh, he said, Hindustan Zindabad. That is how the jail authorities or the authorities of the lunatic asylums, understood, they decided, they were afraid. They thought it may be the cause of a bigger issue, or it may create problem. The country was just partitioned, the country was just created two countries, and if there is slogans being shouted in the lunatic asylums, the country, the rulers of the country saw it or regarded it as a big problem. And to put an end to this problem, what they decided, if the people on either side were deported to their respective countries, understood, respective countries means the countries meant for Islam, country meant for Muslim people, and the country meant for Hindus, understood. If the Hindus were sent to India and the Muslims got sent to Pakistan, then why not those who were lunatic, mad people living in lunatic asylums, understood, won't be sent to their respective countries? They have a right, understood. And there are some Muslims who stayed back. They had to live in there. If some relatives of the Muslims who did not leave India and did not go to Pakistan, those mad people were told to stay back. They were not taken, understood, and they did not want their relatives who were lunatics, who were mad, not to be taken away from Indian, mental hospitals, Indian jails made for the mad people, understood? That is what happened, understood? And only the need to deport the mad people from the respective asylums in both Pakistan and India, understood? And what happened? That fellow, when this started, understood, this problem started, then only he has come to know all this. Who? The poet. After coming to know about all this, then he says, what did that fellow do? Actually, he was told that he still stands on his stolen feet. It means when the poet heard about that fellow, maybe that fellow was still standing, understood? Maybe he was he got to know about him through newspapers. That fellow is still standing at Wagah, understood? So he says he is presenting. Actually, he was not standing, but to give the poem a poetic effect, to give his line stress, understood? To stress what he was trying to say, the poet might have used this way, understood? This is why he's saying, I'm told he still stands. When you still stands, it means he's still standing there. You can feel him you can feel him standing. You can feel as if that fellow is still standing. Where, where was he standing? On his swollen feet. Why not? Why not? Why not will his feet be swollen? As he was standing for 15 long years. And now the poet wants to say how pathetic, how bad, how unacceptable the separation, the partition of the country was to Bishan Singh, to Toba Singh. Was not it a big protest? A man who was not in favor of partition is proving, is showing the world without rest, showing the world he remained standing on his feet for the 15 long years only because he was not in favor of partition. Understood? It was a protest. Understood? Sometimes we sometimes see protest march, isn't it? Do you get it? It's us. He is protesting against what happened to him through doing what or by remaining standing. Do you get it? Maybe his feet became swollen. Is that clear? And that fellow still stands on his swollen feet where Manto had left him. Hello? That fellow, I am told he is still standing on his swollen feet where Manto had left him. Manto is still standing there where Manto had left him. Manto means that fellow who wrote the story. In the story, he was presented as Toba Singh, who Bishan Singh was presented as Toba Singh. His original name was Bishan Singh. Understood? So, the poet says that that fellow who was Toba Singh, who was known as Bishan Singh, is still standing on his swollen feet. Understood? He is still where, yes, it is basically, just to show. Understood? His protest, his pain of his agony or his pain of separation, his anger towards those people who separated the country in the name of religion. Understood? In the name of some people, it was a protest. Then, and that fellow still matters. Opat di gud di mung di dal di lalten. Actually, through this line, actually this is a gibberish. If this is a gibberish, it has got no meaning. Actually, the meaning of this line is, if you put something in a boiling water, understood, in a pan, that the dal, understood, that you have put, it boils there. Actually, through this line the poet wants to say that it was a protest enough. You have put those people who did not want pain of separation into a burning pan, in boiling water. So it was not acceptable to them. So you are endangering their life, their prestige, their dignity. Understood? When you live in a place, you live with dignity or not? Your head is held high. Am I right? Your mind is without fear. Your head is held high. Why? Because you have everything that you need to live. But here, he has lost almost everything. With partition, he has not only lost his identity, he has lost his prestige. He has lost his place in the society. Not only name and fame, he has lost himself. When you lose your identity, you have nothing left. Understood? Now, in this line, he is again saying, I have got to locate that mad fellow. He says, I have to find out that mad fellow. Who was that mad fellow? The person who actually died in the no man's land. Understood? Actually, when he says that this fellow is still standing, I must not say he has already died. I have to locate that mad fellow. It means the mad fellow is standing somewhere in the no man's land at Wagah, and I have got to go and meet him. Who used to speak up from a branch high above? Who used to speak up? Who used to speak up from a branch high above? It means those who have done partition, those who partitioned the country, actually made themselves God. And that is the reason why they decided the fate of people. Understood? You are deciding the fate of people. Who are these people? People living in this world. Why must not I say in the world? Because in the subcontinent of India was a part of the world, and they had the right to live like they wanted. They wanted to live as they wished. But when the country got partitioned, it was the wishes of certain people who made themselves God and decided the fate of the people, understood, on the basis of religion. When you decide the fate of people, when you decide to displace the people, when you separate the people from their neighbors, when you separate the people from their motherland, from their place of birth, on the basis of an issue, on the basis of your faith, then this is not an act of kindness. This is not an honest act. This is not a good act. It was sin as the act of God. God only can decide your fate. And those people who have divided you in the name of religion were thought themselves or presented themselves, or maybe they considered themselves God, and that was the reason they got the power to decide your fate, and their fates were decided by those people who did the partition, who partitioned the country. Who used to speak of from a branch high above. He is God. In this line he says, God only can do that. Understood? Who used to speak up from a branch high above? He is God. He is God. That's the reason why he had the right to do that. He had the right to play with the life of the people. Because when the natural calamities happen, a lot of people lose their life. Understood? And nobody protests against what God has done. They accept it as their fate. If there is a natural disaster like earthquake, tornado, people accept it as the act of God. So the people who partitioned the country were like God, and this is the reason they partitioned the country. They failed free to do that, and nobody is blaming them except Vishen Singh, except Toba Singh. Understood? So he is God. He alone has to decide whose village on whose side. He alone. So he alone can decide. Understood? What? Whose village on whose side. He has the authority. He has the power to decide what to do with the life of the people. He has the right to tell the people, you belong to this side, you belong to that side. If you practice this religion, this side is yours, and if you practice that religion, that side is yours. So the poet actually said he was not in favor of partition. This is the pain of separation. This is the pain of partition that this poem is singing, that the poet is trying to sing. Understood? So here, when will he move down that branch? When will he move down that branch? What does it mean? When will he move down that branch? It means the person who has climbed up the tree and has become God, when will he climb down? He is not going to climb down. Once he has made himself God, once he has climbed up the tree, he is not going to come down. He is to be told, if that fellow who has decided to decide our fate, that fellow is to be told. He will be told. What will he be told? There are some more left still. There are some more left still who are being divided, made into pieces. There are some more partition to be done. That partition was only the first one. My goodness. I just want you to please listen to this. This is very important. You know, are you there? Are you there? Okay, fine. Now I am going to tell you. When you have learned this, like when will he move down that branch? It means that fellow who has climbed up the tree understood and decided the fate of the humanity, decided the fate of the people, understood, living in the world. Clear? So that fellow has already become God. Can the person who has become God, the person who has performed godly acts, can they back to their original self? No. They has already changed their identity. They have already become gods. So he is to be told, that fellow should be told, what? That fellow who has divided the country in the name of religion, understood, and those who accepted it and became separated or got separated, clear? That fellow has to be told. What will he be told? There are some more left still. There are some more left still means still there will be more separations, and those separations will happen in the near future. One day this country will be separated on the basis of race, on the basis of color, on the basis of community, on the basis of culture, on the basis of languages, on the basis of a particular area, on the basis of region. So the poet fears those would be notions that will be the causes of future separations, and the poet didn't want the future separations to happen. This is the reason he is saying. He is to be told, that fellow has to be reminded, if you have divided the country, undivided India into two on the basis of religion, there are other separation waiting to be done. There are many more separations waiting to be done on the basis of these, that. This is how there will be left. What? The future generation will not be able to live united. As we all know that we are powerful, united we stand and divided we fall. When you are divided you fall. You will lose your identity, your originality. So do not let these things crop up. These things enter into your life. He was warning the Indians. He is warning the future generations not to do other separations, not to divide the countries in the name of different notions, different concepts, different ideas. So the poet was clear. What it is actually a protest against the pain of separation, against partition. Understood? Now, and that fellow, the poet is still saying, I have already told you, there are some more still left still who are being divided, made into pieces. There are some more partitions to be done. That partition was only the first one. The partition that happened was only the beginning. Only the first one means that partition that happened in 19 on 15th August 1914. Understood? 15th August 1914 Pakistan got independence, and 1947. Understood? 14th August. Pakistan got independence on 14th August 1947. India got independence on 15th August 1947. That day was just the beginning of the separation. There will be future separations as well. And the poet is warning the people about the things in advance, about what would happen in future. Now, that partition was only the first one. I have got to go and meet Toba Singh. I have got to go and meet Toba Singh's vision at Wagah. He says, I have got to go and meet Toba Singh's vision at Wagah. His friend Afzal has to be informed. Lalna Singh, Wada Singh, Veen Singh, Veen Amrit had arrived here butchered. Why? The poet wants to reach Vishan Singh or Toba Singh. What is the reason behind his going? Why does he want to go and meet that fellow? He says that he wants to go to meet Toba Singh at Wagah border. Or why? The reason is his friend Afzal has to be informed. His friend Afzal has to be informed. What? Lahna Singh, Wada Singh, Veen Amrit had arrived here butchered. Their heads were looted with the luggage on the way behind. Now, the reason why he has to go and meet, Vishan at the Wagah border was because of the fact that his friend Afzal, understood, has to be informed. What? Like Lahna Singh, Wada Singh and Veen Amrit had arrived here butchered. These are the people who are his friends. But they had arrived where they have safely reached. Where? India. Understood? But how did they reach? How did they reach? They had arrived here butchered. Butchered means their heads were cut off. They were cut into pieces. They had arrived here butchered. Their heads were looted. Their heads were looted. With the luggage on the way behind, with their luggage, their heads were also looted. Where? On the way behind. The way that in the motherland. Understood? In their respective countries. Is that clear? Now, did you understand what I am saying? Understood what I am saying? Did you get me what I am telling you? So, what happened? In this, what I am telling you, try to understand. What happened here is that, his friend Afzal has to be informed. He has a friend whose name was Afzal. He has to be informed. What? Lahana Singh, Wada Singh, Veen Amrit had arrived here butchered. It means they have arrived, they had gone back to their motherland butchered. They were cut into pieces. Their heads were looted. Even their heads were looted. How were they looted? With their luggage. Their luggage were also looted. Where? On the way behind. The way behind. It means What the poet means to say here is that when you leave your motherland, you are not leaving your motherland with your original self. The respect that you had was lost, your name and fame was lost, your identity was lost, your asset, your character was lost. Here, luggage stands for your character, your originality, your motherland. Your motherland was lost. What is more valuable than your motherland? Nothing. Your piece of land where you were born and brought up was the most valuable asset in your life. If you have lost that, what more thing were you to lose? They had lost more than what they had gained through partition. Understood? So here the poet doesn't mean to say that they were butchered, they were looted, their heads were looted. What the poet wants to say, that hate stands for prestige. Understood? And your body is cut into pieces. It means you have lost your originality, your identity. Understood? And they had, when they went, but they had lost their original self. Maybe they had reached there, but they had lost their identity. Now, slay that Bhuri. Bhuri actually was a girl. Clear? Slay that Bhuri. It means, slay means, what is that? Uli, would you like to take it? Or you have? Okay. Slay that Bhuri. Slay means you slay that. Actually, the poet means to say that there was a girl named Bhuri whose parents were killed. Now, the people thought it was no use leaving her alive. Understood? A girl named Bhuri had lost her parents. And at that time, when the country was partitioned, some people were hunger for blood. They were blood hungry. They did not know, actually, the people on either side did not like each other. And there was some communal tension, and the fighting was going on in the name of religion. Many people had lost their life. So, in that communal clash or the fight that happened during partition, understood? What happened? There was a girl who had lost, there was a girl named Bhuri whose parents were killed in the communal clashes, in the communal, what can I say, in the fighting. Got it? So that girl who had lost her parents during partition, that girl, the people during partition thought it was no use leaving her alive. Clear? So the poet said, slay that Bhuri. Do you get it? Slay that Bhuri. Kill that Bhuri. Kill that girl. Understood? If there is nobody to look after her, was it of any use to leave her alive? Understood? But what the poet means to say, during partition, some people lost their the human qualities. The man turned into beast. Who can kill? Can a human kill another human? Do you think? You cannot expect that. But you can expect a human to kill another human only when that person has turned into, that man has turned into a beast. When you are a beast, you can commit a beastly act. Understood? So, man was no more man. Understood? People were no more people. When? During partition. Because the people were fighting each other. What? In the name of religion. during partition. Why? Because the country was divided, was partitioned in the name of religion. Understood? So, here what happened? Slay that fury, none will come to claim her now. None will come to claim her now. That girl who grew one finger every 12 months, she used to grow one finger every 12 months. It means she was growing up. Understood? With her fingers. Like what happens with most of us. It happens with most of us that we grow what? One finger every 12 months. If you are a normal child. Now shorten one phalanx each year. It means what happens if you are shortening a phalanx each year? It means now during communal tension, can her growth happen like how it happened during normal times? During partition, can she be safe? Can she be like how she was before partition? During partition, can he experience the same situation? She is not free, she is not happy, she is not like she was before partition. And now what happens? Now shorten one phalanx each year. Now what happened? In the years after partition, she is what? She is experiencing deformities. What is? Her progress slows down. Do you get it what I am saying? Now her progress slows down. It is to be told that all the mad ones have not yet reached their destinations. Now it is to be told. What is to be told? Now it is to be told, what is left to be told is that all mad ones have not yet reached their destinations. It means who had to reach where? The mad people from Pakistani lunatics were to reach their asylums in India, understood? And the Pakistani Hindu lunatics, do you get it? Were to reach their Indian asylums, clear? In India. And the Muslims lunatics living in Indian asylums were to reach the asylums in Pakistan. These people have not yet reached their destination. They have not yet reached their destination. There are many on that side and many on this. There are still many left. Many are still left on either side. They are expected, waiting to come. Toba Singh's vision beckons me often to say, Toba Singh's visions? It means what the poet can see is, it seems to him as if Toba Singh's visions beckons me, he calls me. Often. Why does he calls him? Often, off and on, he calls me. Why does he call the poet? To say. What to say? Upar di, gurgur di, moong di, dal di, laltain di, Hindustan te Pakistan. Di durfite mui. It means there are, the poet through these lines, there were mad present on either side, I have told you, on either side of the border. Finally, in the last two lines of the poem, Bishan Singh repeated. What did Bishan Singh repeat? In the last two lines, Bishan Singh repeated in Punjabi. What did he repeat? This time he added an extra line. Hindustan de, Pakistan de, dur fite mui. dur fite mui, which means both Hindustan and Pakistan will go to hell. He uttered these lines in frustration because all the decisions made during partitions were not logical or correct. These illogical decisions were the causes of sufferings of thousands of people on either side of the border. Thank you. That's all. And I'm sure that you might have enjoyed this class.